This isn't gonna be a normal video. It's gonna be a little bit of a testing your attention span type of video. So it is officially the weekend, and I wanted to make one more YouTube video because I don't have any trade recaps to go over. So I was just basically thinking of work to do, and it brought up the question of like, because I'm looking around at like my brother. He's been a great person to like think of as like a great example of like somebody that has the tools to like financial freedom, for example, but doesn't seem to want it. He doesn't seem to really care for it. And it's not that he doesn't understand the value of it, you know, being able to help out your parents, not have to rely on anybody else, and like build the life that you want. Even aside from like driving nice cars or buying fancy things, just like surviving and making an income for yourself, right? Providing for yourself, being independent. And maybe it's just the fact that he's young. And I think that is it, because like he does see the value in like, you know, working, and he does think eventually he's gonna have to go work a job. And that's where I'm like, bro, you don't have to. Like, take a look at what I'm doing and what I'm teaching you, and you just have to do this. If you do this properly, if you learn it, then in 2 years when he's 18, because right now he's 16, he will be able to support himself financially, like fully. I genuinely believe that. And especially because like, probably shouldn't say this, but I opened up an account like under my name, and he's just basically placing the trades under my account. Am I gonna get flagged now? But yeah, it's like I'm giving him this opportunity, and he's genuinely able to learn and make money. And so it brings me to the question of like, what do you want? What is your purpose? What do you think that you are driven to do? And for me right now, it's just basically oriented towards making money, and it's not limited to like trading. You know, when most people come to trading, it's so that they can use trading as a source of income to go do something else, or like to relieve themselves of a job. But like for me, that's just one path, one avenue. But I feel like my desire goes deeper than this, and it's more of like a generational wealth type of like pursuit, where it's like the reason why I'm filming this video instead of going and enjoying my weekend is because I don't find value in like, you know, going and wasting my money on some random entertainment just so I can feel something in the moment. I feel a deeper sense of fulfillment when I go and do something that's like valuable, or post a video that's going to benefit me in the future, or journal, or write a book. That kind of stuff is like more of like you're putting time into something that you are getting better at, versus going out and like, you know, yesterday I was gonna go out with my friends and go-kart racing. We ended up going to Bible study together, but like that's one of those things where it's like I can go do that today, but I'm here filming a video instead. And that comes down to my internal desire to do things that drive towards my purpose. And ultimately, YouTube's gonna make me money. Mentorships and helping other people, that's gonna make me money. Genuinely, it is. And that's why I'm doing it, like honestly. At the end of the day, I feel a sense of fulfillment from this, and then I make more money. Versus the market's closed right now, so I can't be trading. I don't necessarily like trading crypto, and it's like, even the weekends isn't a good time, because you can basically use the same concepts that we use for Forex on crypto. So you can also trade crypto like Forex during the weekend. So I'd also prefer not to trade and mess around with crypto right now when it's not a good time. Yeah, so I feel like at the end of the day, I'd rather work on like my business, grow the social media following, and reach more people. And that's what I'm here doing. And that's where I want to ask you guys to find out what your purpose is. Find out what you want to do with your life and what your desires are, because if you don't know that, then you're not really going to know what the point of you getting this freedom is. Because like I heard something, not sure where this comes from, but it's like money doesn't change you, it only makes you more of who you were. So like, yeah, I have more money now, and now I can go do stuff, but I kind of like am becoming this type of person. Like I posted this in one of the captions on Instagram, on like a post that I made with a car, and I was like, it's not about the car, it's about the person that you become in order to attain the car. And that's like, that lives with me here. it's like the reason why I'm doing this is because of the type of person that I know I'll become if I continue doing this stuff on repetition, like going to the gym and like doing things that require discipline and working on this business. Every day that I wake up and go through something that's hard or painful, something that is uncomfortable. Like this morning, I went to sleep pretty late yesterday because I didn't prepare my Mastermind 3, which I just did for VIP, which was like a 3-hour call. And that was this morning, right before this. And I like didn't prepare for it yesterday because I was at Bible study and I got back at like around 11. And so it's like 12 over here and I'm just like drained sitting there at like 12:30 thinking, man, I'm gonna have to wake up tomorrow at 6 so that I can get ready like and actually be in a decent mood and actually be able to talk during the call. And that was uncomfortable, right? I didn't have to do that. I could have just said, actually, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna sleep in. But the reason why I do these things is because ultimately it's driving me towards something. Versus if I slept in and made myself feel good, that gives me nothing. And at the end of the day, if you feel good, if you entertained yourself a little bit, what did that really give you? And I mean, if that's all you want with your life, then sure, you can go do that. I'm not stopping you from doing that. But what I'm sharing with you guys is that for me, I have a desire to do more. I have a desire to pursue my goals and become somebody that I personally am proud of at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and at the end of the next 5 years. I'm going to look back and be able to say that I do not regret spending my time working on myself, working on this business, helping people out, and actually using the skill set that I have to change the lives of the people around versus just entertaining myself and attaining nothing from that. And genuinely, it's going to pay off in the sense that this will change my life. And as I grow a bigger following, more people will be attracted to like what I'm doing, and I'll be getting sponsorships, I'll be getting partnerships, and I'll be able to network with other people. All these things are things that I wouldn't otherwise gain if I just went around and like dilly-dallied and spent my money. I'd rather work and reinvest into the things that have got me thus far, which was, first of all, following my faith. Following my faith has been such an important thing, and there's been times where I've fallen off and like stopped doing the things like reading my Bible, praying, going to church and Bible studies. And during those times, I genuinely would fall off from my business as well because those things kept me going. Those things kept me strong, knowing that I was being supported and God was walking beside me. And even during the times where I wasn't doing those things, I mean, He was walking beside me, but I wasn't able to hear His voice. I wasn't able to feel His presence. And in that sense, I felt lost. I felt alone, and all these things. You feel it. And I called Chris, and I was like, dude, are we even doing the right stuff? Because it's been like, we've been doing this for like a year already, and I'm looking around and seeing all these other people achieving their goals and stuff, and he tells me what I need to hear, and it's like, yes, we have been doing what we need, and look at how far we've gotten. Because oftentimes we lose sight of that. And yesterday during the Bible study, we covered something about being grateful towards God. It was a verse in Luke chapter 18. I think it was like verse 17. You guys can fact check me on this, but Jesus, there was 10 men with leprosy who stood at a distance from Jesus, and He said, go to the priests. And as they went, they were made clean. So leprosy is like a skin disease, and like it was infectious, so that you couldn't come close to somebody. You'd tell them, hey, I'm unclean, and like they wouldn't want to be with you or next to you. And as they went, Jesus sent them away, and as they went, because they followed what He said, they all became clean. And once one of them realized that he was clean, he immediately turned around, ran back to Jesus and thanked Him and said, thank you. And Jesus asks, where are the other 9? Were not all cleansed? And the moral of the story is that those other 9 did not turn around to thank God for what He had done for them. And that's the story, that's the moral that I'm trying to get at here, is that oftentimes we forget what got us that far, and we forget where we're at. We forget to thank God who guides us, who given us what we have. and I'm genuinely grateful for everything that I have right now. And Chris reminded me that we've gotten so far already. And it's like I was thinking, hey, are we even doing anything meaningful? Are we even making an impact? Is this even the right thing that we should be doing right now? And the answer was yes. And the answer was that we have to keep doing it. We have to go harder at it. And as you guys have noticed, this week I've literally uploaded videos almost every day, on it, literally almost every single one of my pages. I've been pretty consistent. We've been running streams up and doing calls with people. My one-on-one mentorship's going, and things are going well. And that's what I wanted to say, is that I feel like all these things that I've done up until this point, at some point I just fell off from like my faith, and that's so crucial, because during that time, that's when those doubts came back, and those doubts made me feel like the things that I've been doing, even though like I've gotten so far, it was like it had all been tossed out the window. And what if I didn't hear that from Chris and just gave up? What if I just dropped everything? Then all of it would have been for nothing. But instead, I went harder this month, and it genuinely paid off. So I'm truly grateful. And that brings me around to the second thing that kept me going, that makes me feel a sense of purpose and allowed me to get this far. And that was Chris. The second thing is having a partner, having somebody to work with in your business. Because oftentimes, whether that be your brother or a friend, family member, your cousin, you want to have somebody that will work on the same mindset as you. And Chris, he's a year older than me, and we weren't even friends in high school. Like, I just knew of him through a friend, and like I would have never thought that we would have this kind of like friendship going into this business, if you asked me in high school, because I didn't even know who he was really. But it was like after he had graduated, I believe, and I was at the gym with one of my other friends, and he overhears our conversation about trading, and he walks up, says, hey, I do options. Like, I was just hearing your conversation. Talked about ICT with him. We hopped in a call, and like we were just like, dude, like after he started learning and he started seeing the same stuff, we're like, dude, look around. There's people teaching this stuff to other people, and like we know it. Like, why can't we do the same? And we built a roadmap and started working on it. And it's like now, it's like when I post a video and he sees that I'm working, and I post my second video, my third video, my fourth video, and he hasn't posted a video, he's gonna go post a video. And when I see that he posts a video, it gets me going, and I go post a video. When both of us are working, we don't even have to really even communicate. But it's like whenever I have an idea, I consult with him, and it's another mastermind brain that's telling me, oh, I think this is a great idea, let's do it. And he supports me, or he tells me what he thinks, other ideas. Even when it comes to like messaging people, it's like we learn a lot from, like, in the business sense, like how you approach somebody to sell them something. What way do you navigate the conversation? How do you personalize your audience? These are things you could only do by experience, and it's really good to have another person working with you. So find somebody. It doesn't even have to be your friend. If your friend's not listening to you, then drop him. You know, you don't need to spend your time and waste your time convincing somebody else when you can just work hard on whatever you're doing, and eventually someone will come just like this. It's like God sent him there because he overheard a conversation while I was in the gym, and he wasn't somebody that I was really even friends with. So, and now we're the closest friends. He's probably one of my closest friends ever. And I think that's going to be like that, and we're going to achieve our goals together. We're working on this business, and we're trading. He's a beast trader as well. And it's great to see his results, and the fact that we both learned the same exact thing and went our own routes. And the thing is, that comes down to what I was mentioning in the mastermind. It's about your personality. And that could be number 3 of like things that got me this far, is that I didn't succumb to what I learned. Like, you don't stick to your masters or like your mentors model, and you try to only learn that specific model and use it in your life. Like, people DM me and they're like, let me live trade with you. I'm a trade with you, but Asia for me is at 2 a.m. And I'm like, dude, that's not sustainable. You're not going to be able to do that. Because think about it. If it's at 2 a.m. every day, then you have to sacrifice your health. If you work a job, you're going to feel terrible all day at work. So like, if you really try to do that, then you're sacrificing your health knowing that this isn't going to be sustainable, and you're essentially going nowhere with it. So the thing is, like, what I did is that I don't like waking up in the morning. Chris, he's fine with it, and he loves trading NQ and ES, and he uses SMT and all the stuff that we learned, and he tailored it to his concept. And most ICT traders actually trade NASDAQ, right? But me, I'm a little bit of like a side route, because I don't like waking up in the morning. I despise it. And so what I did instead is I thought about it. Okay, NASDAQ does not move during Asia session, so I'm not going to trade NASDAQ. Simple as that. I'm going to find something that moves during Asia session. So my friend trades gold, so I started watching gold. Realized a few months later, after watching gold, Asia session, daily candle opens, expands. I found out that this model is actually insane and it runs like crazy. So if I can catch this, so over time, I started paying attention to patterns, things that repeated in gold every single time during Asia session. And I figured out that I could trade it, and it's at 5 p.m. for me. So think about it. Now I'm chilling because it's at 5 p.m. I made it work for me during a time that I'm comfortable. If you aren't able to trade New York or Asia session because of your time zone only allowing you to trade London, then you don't trade gold or NASDAQ. You go find a third pair like Euro USD, GBP USD, something that moves during London session, and you trade those. It's as simple as that. You trade something else. You take the concepts that are universally applied to every market that we teach, and you go tailor it to your specific pair that will help you maintain your lifestyle and not interrupt. Trading is freedom. You don't go and ruin your life so that you can trade Asia session at 2 a.m. on gold. Like, it's not really anything better than what Euro will give you. If you master it on any other pair that works for you, you'll do far better than me on gold. Genuinely, you'll do way better than you would have sacrificing your sleep. Like, I would never, even if I, like right now, like I don't work a job or anything. I mean, I have classes, but I can technically stay up till 2 a.m. every day. I would not do that to trade. Like, I would not do that. I would not want to do that sustainably. Sometimes when there's a really good setup, I'll stay up, and like sometimes I'll even stay up all the way to a news event if my trade's really good. I mean, I have money on the line, like why not? You know, it's like I'm getting paid to stay up. But I wouldn't do that sustainably. I would actually despise that, and it would really ruin my orientation. It would ruin my kind of like love for trading. It would be like, this is making me feel dreadful and I don't want to do this anymore. That's how I would feel. And it's going to be the same with you if you force yourself to trade something that doesn't align with your time zone, that doesn't align with your personality. Like, you genuinely have to figure out whether you're going to swing trade, scalp, what time zone works, like what session works for your time zone during a time of the day that you're free, what pair moves during that time, and then you go and like master that pair. You find the characteristics of that specific pair. Like, gold's characteristic is that the daily expansion happens typically from the open, like, which is Asia session. And that's the characteristic that I tailored. NASDAQ basically consolidates, and the characteristic of NASDAQ is that it likes to use those Asia and London highs and lows. And that's a characteristic that is only like for New York session on NASDAQ, for example. And there's different characteristics for the Euro USD, which moves during London, right? You have Asia session to reference only. New York is after. So you figure it out. I feel like I talked a lot in this video, and I have to go do some other stuff. So I hope you guys learned something. And yeah, really think about what your purpose is and what your desires are, what you want to be chasing in life, and what trading is, like how trading is going to be a source of freedom, of time and finances for you to go and do that thing that you want to do with your life. Catch you guys in the next one.